What we'll do now is fix the locking in the right arm as well as finish the animation of the head and look for any other areas we can fix up before we move on to changing up our ending of the heavy push. So we're just about finished. Let's go ahead and fix the locking of the right arm. Select it and go to the rotate Y, and where it's locking up at frame 175, we'll just take the key on 176 and bring it up so that there's no more locking in that right arm, okay, where it appears to be locked but isn't quite locked. Great. And we don't want to neglect the left side. We want to make sure that that's not locking up either. And it sure isn't. So good. So now we could go ahead and fix up the head. Let's select it and go to the rotate X. And what's going to happen is as he's pushing off here, we're going to want the head to rotate down. And we're kind of getting that now, but we actually want it to be much more defined than it is right now. So with the head selected, let's go to the rotate X and we'll rotate the head down some more. Like that. Okay, so that's better. Then we could even check out the neck to see if we can make a fix there, but I think the neck is fine. Okay, now as the character is coming up, we'll just go ahead and rotate the head up for a little bit of follow through. Great. So here's what we get as the character pushes off. His head follows through forward and then starts coming back up. Great. And then we could check out the neck to see if we can make any fix there on frame 180 as well. And I think it's actually fine. So with that done, now we can spend the time just to go ahead and check and double check our work to make sure everything's fine before we go ahead and change up our ending. So we'll hide our curves and let's start from more of a direct side view, starting from the character's right. And from here, we'll just make sure he's in shot and that we have a nice view so we could really see all that's going on. So we'll start here. Here's the render. Okay, so it's looking pretty good, but one thing we can fix is right here as the character is stepping in with his right foot. Notice how the body is translating down at the same time. What we want to do is have the right foot plant first and then the translate Y of the body to come down a little bit after. So let's work on that. We'll close out our play blast, show our curves, and with our center of gravity selected, we'll go to our perspective and graph editor view, and let's change this camera back to our perspective side view. And from there we'll go to our translate Y, and we want to fix this key on frame 150. So let's delay it first so that it's now lies on about frame 152. And then what we'll also do is bring it down some more. We don't want that step to be as abrupt, so we can bring it down some more and fix up our tangency some so it won't be as abrupt. Then we could even take this key on 158 and bring it up some more. So now when we check it out, the motion is much better there. And we could even hit play to see it. Great. That's much better. Okay, so the side view here is looking good. Let's go back to our perspective and check out a back view. So again, we'll hide our curves, start back from the beginning, and scrub through, making sure we're keeping our character in shot and we have a close enough view where we can really see what's going on. So let's kick off one from here. Here's the back view. Okay, so the back looks good. Let's try the character's left side now. So this time we'll select the translate X arrow and Again, keeping our character in the focus of the camera, we'll render another one off from this angle. Here it is. Okay, looking at it from this angle, I think we can have the character translate up a bit more as he's stepping up with that right foot. Okay, just so that his upward translation is more apparent than it is right now. So we'll close out the blade blast. We can show our curves again, and let's go to our perspective and graph editor view. Switch this to our perspective, and here's where the character is translating up at its highest on 144, but let's add a key just before he's lifting up his right foot to come forward on 123 with the insert key tool. Okay, so we could preserve his position there. And then on 144, we'll just take this key and let's have him move up a little bit higher. Okay, so he'll translate up and then move down. Alright, let's see how this looks. We'll add our curves and start off another render. Here it is. Okay, so that's looking better. But one thing we could do to wrap it up is basically to have him up higher, held higher before he moves down. With that key there, basically as he's moving higher, that key that we set to have him hold is too low, so it makes it seem as if he's now coming down at the same time his right foot is coming down. So we'll close out our blade blast and just finish that up. Okay, so again we'll go back to the key now on frame 152, and we'll want to check out our perspective view, and we'll take this key and let's go ahead and move it up so it's closer to this key on 144. Okay, and then we want to make sure that the timing is right on it. I say we could delay it a few more frames actually. Let's take it and move it to 154. And then we'll need to fix our tangency here. So let's select this key, break its tangency, and adjust the right half of it. And then we'll delay this key on 158. Let's move it down a couple of frames. Alright, so that's looking better. Great. So with that, we'll now go ahead and check out another view of the animation. Let's try more of a top view. Okay, so we'll go ahead and scrub through the scene just again to make sure the characters where we want them to be, and start another render off. Here's the play blast. Awesome, so the top view looks good. So with these things done, that wraps up this lesson. In the next lesson, what we're going to do is work on now changing up our ending so that everything will be consistent. So we have this character pushing a heavy crate. We're going to want him to be a little bit fatigued afterwards. Okay, and that's also going to give this animation a little bit more appeal to it. So that's what we're going to start on in the upcoming lesson.